What's up, everybody? It's me and the technical analysis dog. Oh, he's got his mouth out today. How you feeling, Rocco? You feeling good? I am not so good. I am tired. I went to a concert last night. It's just me and the kid now. Don't worry, he didn't come. But get ready for maybe mistakes today. A little bit slower than usual. All that. All right, so we'll take a look at the markets. It was a consumer discretionary and growth day. We'll take a look. Volatility had a bit of a pop, and real estate was kind of the only saving grace. So we'll take a look. Market was off by about 1%. Let's share the screen here and the doc, and let's get going. I'm very tired, and as I earlier mentioned, I am becoming a shell of a man as the week progresses. Okay, speaking of which, I guess nice little cool image here. Let me make this one bigger so you guys could see it. There's obviously bears and all kinds of animals. I think this guy looks like almost like a banker or like Jim Cramer with his head cut off or something. Here's just all kinds of animals. And I guess this is obviously, charting here. So it looks good. And the headline is, look at this. Pretty cool. A lot of computers here. Trading trends for today. Consumer discretionary and growth fall 1.5% or so, while volatility jumps 5%. That's my name. And we'll get into the charts for the day. All right. So volatility jumped, real estate up 1%, and the consumer discretionary and growth both down about 1.5%. We'll take a look at the top three gainers of the past 5 days. Silver, absolutely a very notable tear, up 6%. The gold miners, very affiliated and correlated with that. And China, nice rebound. I purchased FXI yesterday. Bull market times indeed. But yeah, I'm officially long. We'll take a look at the ASHR, which is the third leader. And then on the losing side, you can't avoid what's been going on, the massive move in Japan, and even more so home construction in the past week. It's absolutely the second hottest area of the past year is on sale. I'm on my friend JC's All-Star Charts Stock Markets TV show tomorrow morning. I'll be talking about this. Home construction, very important. It's on sale this week. I'm coming very close to putting orders in. I'm already in IYR, which is up today. We'll take a look at that. And then, as I said, Japan taking a beating. Today was down also. We'll take a look at the chart. And Ark back in the focus to the downside, down 4%. Again, major moves this week in home construction, down 6.5%. That's a major move. Silver and Japan. These are your big movers this week. Let's go to the SPY chart on the day first. So let me do the thing. Oh boy. All right. So here's a 1-day chart. This is the opening bell here, as you see. So traded ugly pretty much throughout the day. As you saw, we cascaded lower and lower and lower, and we didn't find a low until 2 o'clock. Kind of uncommon. Usually get a reversal or a bottoming, right around the European close around noonish. Here came a little bit lower, and it was kind of ugly here in terms of the candle. The low, the bottom of the wick was 574.40, and then we ended up getting that's where we bottomed, and then we started making a move where towards the all-important number, volume weighted average price, a big size buy at 330, much heavier than the selling at the 930 bar. So obviously we did close down 90 bips. We closed above VWAP, not atrocious trading. We'll take a look at tech and stuff where it was a little bit worse. All in all, like I said, my all along the accumulation date for me looking for an end on or around the 25th of October, which last I checked is in 2 days, and that should take us right around 588. So a bit of a lid on the market. I was saying that it was getting a little bit tired. It wasn't ready for more prices here about 6 days ago, and it retired or it stopped right there at 586. And here we've descended all the way to 578. Now what? Going to keep a close eye on it. I still think we have a little bit of ascent towards 588. I'll see what happens, obviously, with the futures and such overnight. But like I said, working towards that crescendo, if you will, buying ending on or around this Friday. And then one other thing to add on this, pullbacks I had said before was probably going to take you to about that 576 level or so. We actually got below that today. So stuff like that makes me most of the time not revise my forecast, but have a wider lens, as it were. So that makes me think if we did it for right now, possibly in 2 weeks, we do pierce through that. So I'll probably keep more of a conservative estimate and see like 565 is where your sell-off could take you, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's pretty common. You should see some volatility drum up. Market has ran up so much anyway. And then, of course, the election, and some are saying that, of course, it might be days, until it's accepted, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to get into that. All right. So other charts that are important that moved today. So that's our call for the market. All right. So volatility, we haven't looked at this chart in a while. Volatility, a big move up. Multiple sigma recording today of 5%, nearly 4.7. They put up so now we're on the 1-year charts. So just again, interesting. It's a new regime here, as it were, in volatility. What I mean by that is, and I'll talk about this tomorrow on the show as well, because it's one of the charts I'm bringing on. We've went above our 200-day moving average, starting with that Japan crash this summer, if you don't remember, back in August. And right here with the 200-day moving average on VXX, it's 51.79. We close above that here. It's just slightly, I don't want to say it's an elevated environment, but, volatility does exist, and we're just, a handful of percent, just a very, very handful of percent away from new all-time highs. So it's higher than I thought it would be, but we do have a big, event coming where there's uncertainty in the election. I do think you'll get a crush after that. Goldman had a report out saying you don't get typically that much of a vol crush after the election. Sure, I think you're going to get here when you're less than 2% away from new all-time highs. For this being said, VXX, I think this is going to bottom, like I said. So October 25th would be for the accumulation date to end on SPX. That would mean for this to be the distribution phase end. So that would be around October 25th. I see that level right around $52. So this might go, back and fill a little bit longer, a little bit more, and I think it's going to toggle and go right above that 200-day moving average. Hold that 51.80. And then through this, maybe murky next 2 weeks or so, this can travel up towards that 57, 58 bar, essentially the highs that we got during the October 7th scare where oil shot up. And not much more than that. That's my call volatility. A big move up today, though. All righty. So volatility, again, just layman's terms. So I was expecting a move from this to go to 57 to 58 or so. So 54, that's 4 points or so. Not maybe 10% or all move in volatility. Today we moved 4.8. So the market can handle that. It's just, distribution and accum. All right. Next, what moved real estate? So this one's been a dog. It was interesting. Rates have been up, and obviously it's been killing the real estate trade. Rates up today. Also, real estate up. Not a ton, but hey, it's up 0.6. Earlier, it was up a little bit more. Let's take a look at this chart. Boopity boopy bop. Yeah, so this one had its 52-week highs back here, September 16th, 5 weeks ago. Seems like, I don't want to say ancient history, but it's since then, basing here with a low right around 43. I hate to say it, but I think this was a lot of the good move built in from these lows on October 9th or so, right around 43. And then you had this move to 44.80. I'm literally long IYR, so I wish this would go to the moon, but I'm not having, I think the rate story, there's going to be more to contend with in terms of real estate. Just calm your jets. Don't want to leave the trade at all, but I do think this is going to very likely travel towards 42.75 to 43 over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't think this is a loved group. The highs were back here, just basing. I think there's a very good chance it takes out those lows, which coincides with the August lows. The September lows. So, not a great position to be in, I don't think, in real estate for the next 2 or 3 weeks, unfortunately. Okay, so the losers, the major area that got attacked today was consumer discretionary. Tesla was actually up. Amazon was down 2.5%, which dragged this, in addition with other names. This is very heavy. The Amazon Tesla fund comprises about like 35% or 40% of this fund. So if Tesla's going one way and it was up, that's saying something that this was very heavy and recorded a multiple sigma or multiple standard deviation move lower. Pretty surprising that it fell off from the 21-day exponential moving average of 197. It sliced all the way through to the lower Bollinger Band of around 193. It closed at 194 here. I thought this would have a little bit more love, this group, and go, 197, try to make a move towards 200. So this is a little bit surprising, this action. Still rather be, long than short. I do think this mean reverts towards 197. So, but yeah, the Amazon pull lower here did not help this group. All right. IVW, this is growth, pretty synonymous with a lot of your, Qs, SPX, your S&P top 50. So I could have picked a number of names for this one, but we'll take a look at it. Growth down 1.5. The Qs were down 1.5. So like I said, very, very closely assets allocated in here in terms of the securities. So a great looking chart, literally hit a 52-week high yesterday at 98.27. Looks great. Basically, what I had to say for the S&P goes for this, of course. My ceiling for this target was right around 98, 90, 99, right around here. So a touch above where we are here. Same equivalent, 588 for S&P would be the same for this fund. So yeah, it looks good. I'll see if that was it for now, but I do think this maybe has another pop towards 98, 99 over the next week or so. Otherwise, your pullbacks in this will take you to about 96 even in this, so a touch lower. All righty. All right. All right. Top 3 gainers in the past 5 days. Silver. If you're long silver, you're absolutely crushing it. Congratulations. Miners, gold miners, silver miners, they're all doing well. But if you're long the SLV, congrats. That is actually the one that's recording the biggest move, up 6% in the past 5 days, and it was down 3% today. So this thing's still continuing. I like it. I told you before, it doesn't typically move a lot of time outside the upper Bollinger Band or lower Bollinger Band because it just reflects with the volatility already, accounted for, even with the expansion. So it's very hard for this to go up and away. So when I saw 3 closes here, it has to come down to earth at some point, and today was some point. If you see a bunching here of the moving averages, this is your 50-day moving average as well as your 21-day exponential moving average, and it is it's stuck at 29.15 or so. So, obviously lower than where we are here. Ugly selling. Looked like they still had more towards the end of the day. All that being said, still like the story, obviously, for the next 2 weeks or so, or the next week or so, shorter term time frame. My target is around 31. So I still like this to the upside. Be careful. It'll probably back and fill. It doesn't look like the selling is done today. But if you're long silver, I think you're good in a good spot. Again, 52-week highs for this sucker. Literally, as of yesterday, had to mean revert. You can't just, grow on the treadmill for, 5 hours at the same speed unless you're some kind of psycho. And the same thing here. So this has to come down. Same as the things as it was here back in May, as it was breaking out, right? And you're recording overbought behavior, 1, 2, 3 candles outside the Bollinger Band, and look what happened. A big bar closed down, another one, and then it came back up, and then had this back and fill me, and then it couldn't really do anything for another 5 months. I'm not saying the exact same thing has to happen, but that's what happens typically when you have big recordings outside the Bollinger Band. It has to just mean revert. Okay, so silver absolutely crushing it this week. Tried to keep these a little bit diversified, but it was really correlated this week, or the past 5 days so far. The gold miners are the second group leading. I'm long this, thankfully, so it's been a nice trade. Not today. Today down 1.9%. Very similar chart to the SLV, hence why I wanted to keep it different, but this is where your returns are. So very similar. Ugly candle. You had a couple measures here outside the Bollinger Band. Good group. Like I said, I'm long the December calls. This just got a little bit ahead of itself. I still like this for the next couple of days. It has already had a nice run here. I mean, low to high, obviously not the picture perfect way to do it. But this thing's gone from on the 9th, which is 2 weeks ago, last I checked, from 38 to 43. And I've said this group could move. That's the move. So, I'm long for this for a little bit longer going into, after Thanksgiving is how I'm structuring this trade. So I'm still in it. My target for this upside is right around 43 even. So I still think this is, too big for its britches. Is that a saying? I don't think it's a saying. I don't know. Too big for your britches. Maybe it is. My grandmother was Egyptian. She didn't say things like that. So yeah, upper target 43, and then pullbacks ultimately the next 2 weeks or so, I think gets you to about 41 on this thing. All right. Next. Oh, China. So I'm long FXI. Purchased that yesterday. So the ASHR, the third biggest gainer in the market. So it's been silver, gold miners, and China. I just got into China, but I'm glad to see, and this is part of the magic, it's not really magic, of trading trends and following trends, is that, I'm in gold miners, and that's obviously not having a great day, but it's had a great year and it's had a great week. And that's why we look at charts. So China was on my, we talked about it several times. I wrote October 22nd down on my sheet. And sometimes the date is more important than the price. You'd be surprised. So anyway, for China here, the highs were October 7th. That's when the absolute just exuberance has peaked in this country. In that country was October 7th, and for the stock recording it was 35.72 here. I think this is doing a decent job basing right around its 21-day exponential moving average. And again, that event was October 7th. I'd like to see, again, I'm really looking closely at this group, but it's holding decently here. You still have rising moving averages here. These are your 50 and your 21-day exponential. And it's holding for this specific chart, 27.5 is that level. So we're getting pretty close. It's not, an exact line in the sand, doomed if it's not, because it's ultimately, I want to see it hold the 200-day, and that's all the way back here at 24. So for me, systematically and technically speaking, it was worth buying into. Again, I bought the FXI more liquid because I did the January options. Actually, I believe it was. Actually, let me just check. Was it Dece or was it Jan? I'm in the January at the monies for FXI, so I like that. So I think this is going to base China, the specific ETF, are right around 27.55, right around here for the next week or so. And I think your next target ultimately gets you to. Obviously, at first, it has to get to 29, and let's see where it goes from there. But I do think your target is on this one about 29 to 29.5 for the next 2 weeks or so, and that's why I got involved. All right, top 3 losers of the past 5 days. Got to talk about this. I'll be talking about this for quite a bit tomorrow on the show. Tune in. I think I'll link it or something. If you follow LinkedIn, add it, and then you'll see the thing. But it's tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then one of the big charts, ITB, semiconductors, Bitcoin have been leading the charge for the past year. This is where your alpha's been if you want to make some serious money over the S&P, because otherwise just go on the S&P more than ever. So ITB is down 6.5% over the past 5 days. Today, essentially flat, down 30 bips. This is quite a traverse. We said this group can move too, but look at this. On October 18th, a high of 130. And just in 5 days, this thing has gone to the low today was 119. So this is an absolute superstar group. Has not been oversold at once this year. Many times overbought behavior. This is essentially your Taylor Swift tickets. She's always sells out. There's a line to get in. No one even told it during the August 5th, August 6th, Japan crash. Anything was even happening here in this group. So kind of, I don't want to say surprising. The race story has been killing this group. So all in all, specifically for ITB, and this has been, like I said, ITB and XHB has been really, really amazing return of trade for the past 52 weeks. All that being said, I just don't think this group is going to find lever here. I do like the level in terms of support. I think 119 holds. So I think your risk to the downside here is 1 down and then mean revert pop 5 on the upside. So I will look at this carefully. I just don't think for the next week or two, I think it's going to stay around here, 119 to 123 level. I don't think it's going to be a loved group. We'll see. I'm long IYR, and they all don't move exactly the same way. IYR today up. This group ITB down 30 bips. So it really depends how you're capturing it. This has been the winning way to capture the real estate trade of the past year, and I think you're getting a very sweet on sale invitation to the third best trend in the past year after Bitcoin and semis. It's this puppy right here. And I think just watch it closely for the next 2 weeks or so. You got an entry under 125. I think you want to take it. And the target's going to 132. You're going to want to own this thing, I think, in November, December when you're having that rally. Okie dokie, as we're winding down here, because I got to pick up my kid soon because he's probably going to throw meatballs at the dog or me or all right, EWJ down 5%. This one's not going so well. India hasn't moved well either. So here's Japan, EWJ. Yen moves are happening as well. Obviously, the dollar here in the United States having an effect. So this has really fell out the bottom. Look at this. The all-important, magic hotel, Motel 6 flashing lights here It's under the 200-day moving average. Again, the 52-week high here is September 26th, recorded 73.24. The 200-day moving average is 68.85. We closed below this October 22nd. Japan, you're on the clock. So for me, they have till about November 22nd, November 30th. By the time you're putting down that, turkey and watching football, I got to know where the EWJ is closing versus the 200-day moving average. It's got to be above 69. Then I'll stay long. If it's under 69, then I'm going to want to bail because it's going to be a longer story. I'm not saying, get the heck out, but it's just not going to be paying in terms of the option spread that I'm in. 68.5 I thought would really hold. I really thought the 200-day moving average around here and close, maybe a little bit of a breach. So the weakness today down 2% after yesterday's fall is quite surprising. We'll see what happens. I expect it to base. A mean reverting, again, would take it to 68, would be quite a pop. I think that's what you can expect, a move towards 68 to 70 over the next 2 to 3 weeks. But it's been a very, very bad group, especially since October 15th. This thing has really fell out of bed. It's a volatile ETF, Japan, after it's got a lot of dollars of traction lately, including mine. All right, and then Ark stocks back in focus. Ark not having a good week. Rates up. A bunch of these companies are pre-revenue in some instances. It doesn't help this group. Pretty funky. Look at this wave of the 200 moving average. It was curling up, now going lower. This group, is on the clock for in terms of success for the first time starting October 14th. I don't think I really buy it. But right here, this group today down 3%. Like I told you, down 4% over the past week or so. I think that was the nice move if you're in this stock. I think that was it. This move from 45.5 on October 11th to about 48. I think that was it. I don't think the bottom falls out or anything here, but I do think this travels towards 44.40 over the next 2 to 3 weeks, which would be essentially right around where my cursor is here. Would take you to the September lows essentially. So the rate story is a big mover. It's like a big wave in the ocean, and everything's moving accordingly. So this week, if you're short ITB, congrats, 6.5% in your pocket. I'm the other way, unfortunately, so 6% plus the other way. Silver, I'm long GDX, so that's working out well. And then Japan, not so good. I have a sad kitty Suchi roll or something. Because that's down 5%. Okay, what else? I'll be on the show tomorrow. I will post, if you haven't seen already, my Business Insider article got published this morning, and I said 6,500 by Memorial Day for the S&P, and I talked a lot about these same groups, semiconductors, Bitcoin, and home builders. You have to. They're leading the market. And I think that is it. I will see y'all Friday. Peace.